Your mom had incredible taste. Hey everyone, I'm Annie G and welcome to my channel where the scents are sweet and the reviews are spicy. Today, I want to talk about old school vintage perfumes, classic perfumes that you can still get that are bangers and super affordable. All of these perfumes I got for under $50 on FragranceNet, some of them for as low as $20 for a full bottle. They are classics, and I'm teasing a little bit, but the inspiration behind this is one of the perfumes that my mom wore. And with Mother's Day, I thought it'd be fun to make a joke on perfumes that your mom probably wore. If you wore it, not calling anyone old, I am not trying to insult anyone if they are not a mother. It's just a joke. And it's funny because my mom actually did wear one of these perfumes and I'm like, wow, Peggy, you really had good taste. So if classic perfumes are your thing and you want to know what still hits and still delivers, give this a thumbs up, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm here for you Mondays, Wednesdays, and Saturdays. Okay, let's start with the perfume that started this and inspired me to go onto FragranceNet and just buy a bunch of perfumes from all the way from the 50s all the way up to the 80s and 90s. And that is, I don't really know how to say it. I think it's Amarige. Amarige by Givenchy. And I saw this on a video from the Perfume Journal. Amazing channel, love her. I'll link her channel below. Fantastic. But she brought this up as a classic perfume that actually still really hits. And I saw the bottle and I was like, oh my God, my mother wore that. And I was like, I wonder what is up with that perfume. And this is a surprisingly fruity, fresh, musky, slightly mossy, really rich, but surprisingly fun fragrance for coming out in 1990. It's peachy, it's fruity, it's tangerine, it's a little juicy and musky, but it is so fun. It kind of fits in the same realm to me as Della by Nina Ricci or Fracas that I absolutely love. It's got that fruity, musky, slightly floral. I'm not getting a ton of tuberose in here where the other two perfumes I just mentioned have tuberose. Well, I lied to you. There is tuberose in here, in fact. Top notes are orange blossom peach, plum neroli, Brazilian rosewood, violet, and mandarin orange. Middle notes tuberose mimosa, gardenia ylang ylang, jasmine, black locust, carnation, black currant, red berries, rose, cassis, orchid. Base notes sandalwood, amber, woody notes vanilla, musk, tonka bean, and cedar. I swear, some of these perfumes from the 90s just loaded with notes. But really what I'm getting is that juicy peach, mandarin orange, plum, white, floral, the neroli. It does have a little bit of a greenness, a green sharpness, but it's just really bright, surprisingly bright, and surprisingly youthful. When you think of these perfumes, obviously, because they're so old, they get associated with old ladies, but to me, this feels surprisingly youthful. Something I would wear. It's classy because of the musk and the carnation, giving it a slightly powdery something, and the jasmine comes through a little bit to me, gives it that elegant touch. It is such a good perfume. And you can get this on FragranceNet for 40, 50 bucks for 50 ml, I think. It's so good. This still hits. And I'm like, damn, Peggy, you were walking around smelling like this? Oh my gosh, it's fun, it's flirty, it's sexy, but it still feels grown. I would say Della, if you've ever smelled it, is a little bit more fruity. It feels a little bit younger, but they are very comparable, very similar. I think this just has a little bit more jasmine, a little bit musk, which makes it feel like a little more traditionally elegant, but it's so fun. And I think great for the spring and summer because of that fruitiness. It kind of smells like drinking a peach smoothie while walking through a department store at the mall. So it's got that department store, clean, musky, elegant, just smell, you know what I mean? But then there's something fruity going on with it. I love it, and I think this is a hit. 1990 this came out, or 92, 91. Dominique Ropion. My mom loved Dominique Ropion. Every perfume she wore, Dominique Ropion was the nose behind. Highly recommend if you're interested in that kind of musky, fruity thing. I think this is a good pickup, and it's, like I said, so affordable. So Amarige by Givenchy is a hidden gem and such a classic, and I think we should bring her back. Okay, so now we're gonna go back in time and then go chronological order. I wanted to start with Amarige because of the association with my mom. So now, and this was a recommendation from a subscriber, I'm sorry, I don't remember who, but I was talking about Fracas and how I loved it so much, and it's from 1948. They were like, you should try L'air du Temps. Temps by Nina Ricci. And I was like, okay, I'd never tried that. I got the EDP version. And this is, to me, maybe at first a little too classic. It has a very strong lily and carnation, which gives it this baby powder, talcum powder vibe to me that at first I don't really vibe with, but then the dry down is just a really soft kind of rosy musk. And I can see why people still really like this. It's been around since what, like 1949. It's a classic. But it has spices, neroli, peach, bergamot, and rosewood at the top. Middle notes, carnation, lily, iris, ylang ylang, rose, and orchid. Base notes, moss, musk, sandalwood, ambergris, vetiver, cedar, and benzoin. The opening with the spice and the lily and the carnation is just like a little too talcum powder for me personally. It does feel a little dated, whereas with Amarige or Fragrancenet, the fruitiness makes it feel more modern for whatever reason. I think maybe because the last 20 years perfumes have been so fruity floral that now I associate that with modernity, but I can see why people really like it. It has a clean, soft, powdery vibe. If you like a really classic, clean, musky, powdery rose, I think this is an excellent classic. The bottle is really cool. Okay, the bottle is gorgeous. I could see why people still like it, and it's been around since the 50s, so obviously people love it for a reason. It really is really nice. I like it on the dry down a lot better. It just becomes musky and warm, but yeah, L'air de Temps, a classic that you can still get and at a great price. So might be your thing, not for me, but I see why people like this. Okay, jumping ahead all the way to the 80s. Most of the perfumes today are from the 80s and 90s, but I just had to keep this in. The presentation is just so fun. And this is Giorgio. Can you see? Oh, it's a little bright. This is Giorgio Beverly Hills EDT. Look how fun this yellow and white stripe is. Reminds me of Chateau Marmont, the umbrellas by the pool or something. And then the bottle, you guys, is so fun. Let me pull it out. Can you, like, how beautiful and fun is that? This is probably the strongest patchouli I have ever smelled in my life, okay? I was looking up the best tuberose fragrances of all time, and this came up for some reason. Not saying it's bad, but to me, this isn't a tuberose fragrance. To me, this is a patchouli white floral. It's so strong. When you spray it, it fills the room. And this was $18, okay? I just love the whole presentation. I love the bottle, so I had to have it. And when you smell it, it literally smells like a smoking room. It literally smells like an old smoking room. Yeah, it's crazy. Oh, it's the strongest patchouli I have ever smelled. It is so 1980. You are just taking back sideburns, those orange colored sunglasses. You're by a pool. Guys are wearing 4-inch inseam shorts, chest hair everywhere. You're by the pool in California, leathered tan skin. That is the vibe. It is so funny. It is funny how 80s this is. Quintessential. Notes are orange blossom, apricot, peach, bergamot. Middle notes, tuberose, gardenia, ylang ylang, jasmine, orchid, and rose. Classic for this time. And the ylang ylang is doing it. It's a little pissy. It's a little whoa. Base notes, chamomile, oak moss, vanilla, musk, amber, sandalwood, patchouli, and cedarwood. And the oak moss with the patchouli that's what's making it feel. You can tell this is going from 70 to 80, because in the 70s it was like that hippie, earthy. Everything had oak moss, everything had patchouli. And so now we're stepping into the 80s and we're getting a little more bright and fun and electric. And that's where the fruits start to come in. And you can really get that. The dry down is not as bad. When I first smell it, I want to like barf a little bit because the patchouli is smoky. It smells like cigarettes. That's how smoky and dirty it is. It smells like an old school smoking room at a pool party or like Chateau Marmont or something. But it is so nostalgic. And for $18, it's a blast from the past. And if you like a patchouli, if you like a strong patchouli, this might be your thing. For me, it's a little much. I don't know that I am that confident to wear this. It smells like night clubbing. If night clubbing is like Paris, this is Las Vegas. Do you know what I mean? It's a little grimier. It's a little down and dirtier, but it's still fun. And it still has that elegant velvet nightclub feel, but a little sunshinier and like a little grimier, a little down and dirty. It's so fun. And like the presentation, it's so classic. Love this. This is the kind of stuff that I just want to like display. I just love this vintage shit. with the Giorgio and script. Like, that is just so beautiful and so classic. So Giorgio Beverly Hills EDT is a crazy blast from the past. $18 if you love a strong patchouli and something a little smoky but a little fruity. I think this might be fun. So 18 bucks, 18 bucks. Next up, I just have this little dabber, but this is Design by Paul Sebastian. Okay, again, regarded as one of the better, more classic tuberose fragrances, and I was pleasantly surprised with this one. I did not expect it to be so fruity and fresh because there's civet in here, and a classic civet can be really intense because this is before they had all the regulations around not synthetic civet. It is so fruity and bright. I was like, what? And this one I think came out in 1992 as well. So early 90s, we're getting out of the heavy patchouli 80s. Ooh, I just dabbed a lot. It like poured out. Oops. And now we're starting to get into that really fruity, peachy 90s trend. And it's fun. I really like it. It kind of reminds me of Amarige. It has the peachy fruitiness, but this one at the top, it has your jasmine, your tuberose, orange blossom, and peach. And then the middle notes, there's gardenia and honeysuckle, which make it a little honeyed and a little sweet. Carnation, lilac. I don't get lilac at all, but that's fun. That's in there. Ylang ylang, rose, and then base notes, musk, civet, sandalwood, and black currant. So you gotta like it musky, you gotta like it a little bit animalic, but fruity. God, what a classic scent. It kind of reminds me of a teacher that I had, or maybe a swim instructor or something. It reminds me of a pool in the summer growing up. I don't know why. That's just what's coming to mind. Oh, and my battery's about to die. Anywho, musky, fruity. It's a little sharper and tangier. It has this tang, which feels more citrusy than the others, but that might be the civet giving it that, yeah, it's tangy. Sour, almost. Sourness, but it's a really beautiful floral, and this is so cheap. You can get this for 15 bucks. You just don't smell people walking around smelling like this. You just don't. People don't wear this stuff anymore. I can definitely see the appeal and why someone might still want to wear this. Design, I don't know about for me, but I was surprised at how fruity and white floral it was and how bubblegummy and sweet the tuberose was for the civet note in here. So yeah, that's Design by Paul Sebastian. I don't know if it would still hit, but it's a classic. Okay, next up is Cabotine de Gres, a true classic. I got a tester, so it doesn't have the crazy broccoli looking lid. And this is a powdery, floral, classic 90s perfume. This has everything under the sun in it. Truly every note you've ever heard of is in here. A little spicier, a little sharper. It has coriander, cassis, ginger. So it's a lot spicier and not fresh, but it still has that powdery, musky, vintage feel. Carnation, there's civet in here as well, so it has that tang with the black currant. It's a little sharp, but I can see why people really love this. It's fresh and spicy, but clean at the same time. It's not as fruity as some of the others, but yeah, this was like 14 bucks. And if you like a fresh musky, I think Cabotine, you might like it. And there's a ton of different versions. I'm kind of curious to try the rose version, see if I might like that better. Like, it just really takes you back. I don't know if this one is for me either. I think Amarige is definitely my favorite out of the bunch. Amarige and L'air de Temps are my favorites out of the bunch. If you like a really musky, soft, powdery, baby powder floral scent, there's a lot of purple florals in this one. I think you might really like it. And for 15 bucks, what the hell? Classic fragrance, Cabotine. Last but not least, we're going all the way to 1999 with Gucci Rush. Look how insane this bottle is. It's a giant square. And this was a real classic, and the perfumer of this is now the perfumer for Parlez Moi. He started Parlez Moi perfumes with his sons, but this was one of his biggest hits in the late 90s. Oh my God. It's giving Windex a little bit. This is a peach, a spicy freesia peach vanilla. And initially you're really getting freesia and gardenia. And with the coriander, the patchouli in here too is that 80s, 90s. It's a smoky, dirty patchouli, okay? It's not a clean, earthy patchouli. It's a dirty patchouli. So it kind of has cigarette smoke as well. Peach. Yeah, that's funny. That's really funny. Yeah, something about it just smells like gasoline to me. Yeah, I don't know. Not for me. But I can see why people like it. If you like a freesia fragrance. If you like a gardenia, this is a strong freesia gardenia with some peach and some spicy. There's some jasmine in here as well. The patchouli doesn't last that long. I'm gonna clear my nose. It's crazy that people were walking around smelling like this is intense patchouli and peach. It's insane. Yeah, the coriander is very strong. It's a little sharp, but the dry down is a lot smoother. And then you start to get the vanilla and then it starts to sweeten up a bit. And I do like the dry down, but that is intense. It really is like a rush. It really is, whoa, like a lot going on with that freesia and gardenia at the beginning. I think it's worth getting your nose on just for the history of it. And it's so affordable. I think this was like $5 and then the actual fragrance was like 30, 40 bucks. Gucci Rush, man. Whoa. Okay, and those are some classic perfumes from the mostly 80s and 90s that maybe your mom wore, maybe she didn't, maybe someone else's mom wore, maybe you wore, that I think are still fun and worth a try for those that love those patchouli, those musky, aldehydic fragrances. I think these are some really good, affordable options that you can still find. Amarige, definitely my favorite, and I think still hits. So yeah, let me know down below if you've ever tried any of these, which ones you love, what your mom wore, because chances are they are still bangers. Okay, thanks so much for watching. Like I said, subscribe means a lot to me, and I'll see you in my next one. Okay, thanks. Bye.